Can you hear me now, Roy? Okay. It doesn't even say you're in here yet, but all right. Also, I'll start since apparently there are people in here. Uh, Welcome to the Cardinals state of the franchise. Um, I'm gonna go through Roy just like I did Kevin, although I won't talk about his draft picks as much because Roy only has late round picks. He's just gonna make depth picks with those. But Roy's team is 5-1, one of the best teams in the NFC right now. Uh, Top 12 offense. They were middle of the road in defense, but really good at forcing turnovers and not turning the ball over. So, uh, again, quarterback, he's got superstar Kyler Murray. You can't do much better for a young guy. Uh, 8-1 touchdowns to interceptions. You can't really complain. Um, his rushing is, I mean, he's already on pace to way outperform last season if he can just pump the touchdowns up. So you can't do much better to start a franchise right now than Kyler Murray at all. Running back, Kenyon Drake, another guy who's good. He's young. He's having a really good season, career season. So Roy might, he's only on the tag right now. The transition tag is what I think he got hit with last season. So Roy's got to think about bringing him back. And if he doesn't, he's still got Chase Edmonds, and then he can sign somebody because Eno Benjamin's just a guy. He's not going to, Eno's not going to get significant snaps for you. You've got to get, if you let Kenyon walk, and I don't know let me look real quick what Roy's cap situation would be like for next year, like if he's got a bunch of penalties or anything. No. And he doesn't have to worry. Chandler Jones, I mean, paying DJ Humphries that much isn't ideal, but he doesn't have any terrible. I mean, I would get rid of Robert Alford, but we'll get to that. But yeah, so he could bring back Kenyon Drake next season on a team-friendly deal, and I think that would be, ideal. You want to bring that guy back and keep your offense going. He doesn't have a fullback. Doesn't matter. That's not the offense they run. Wide receiver, he's set. DeAndre Hopkins, number 2 receiver in Madden to Michael Thomas. He can be a 99. Fitz is old. Probably going to... Did you re-sign Fitz? Interesting. No. Okay. Whew. I was like, why does he have such a big penalty? But whatever. Fitz will retire, probably. Christian Kirk is good. Andy Isabella is not terrible, and he's got speed to burn. You've got 3 guys here who can be the number 3 receiver behind Kirk and Hopkins. I like Isabella the most. If you can get him an upgrade, he's got the speed to beat everybody in the league. So tight end, he's going to have to look. Max Williams is just a guy. He's not great. He's slow. You're not going to... Dan Arnold is okay. His catching is okay. He's, pretty mediocre. Then these guys, again, just there. So I'd look at if there's a tight end with a little bit of speed that you could bring in, and he can work the seams for your offense. Norman McDonald, I assume, is your legacy guy, so you're set there. Apparently this guy's been playing football since he was 13 in the NFL. That's impressive. Good for him. So, but that's fine there. And then Justin Pugh is old. He's going to regress next season. You've got to find, if you can find somebody who's in their mid-20s, who's in the mid-70s, that's fine for what you have. DJ Humphries is overpaid. There's no way around it. Roy didn't give him the contract, but he's stuck with it regardless. He's fine at center. You're gonna play him because you're not gonna be able to find much better in free agency anyway. J.R. Sweezy is another guy who he's gonna regress hard. So if you can find a mid-70s younger guy in free agency, you got to do it. And then right tackle Ryan Ramczyk is a stud. You've got 2 sacks. I mean, that's not, you can't complain. And you've got him next season for cheap too. You are gonna have to pay him after that, but I think you'll be fine. Jabal Sheard it's whatever. He's good, but he's on an expiring contract, and Zach Allen's not the guy. But if you can bring Jabal back on a friendly deal for another year until you can get into your draft class where you have picks. Carl Lawson's a stud. He's better than his overall says. He's not having a great season right now, but he's good. He can stop the run. He can rush the passer. He's great. Defensive tackle. This guy, Leaky Fota, is a good player. If you don't want to spend big, I don't mind having these 2 guys as your starting D tackles when you've got a Carl Lawson and then Chandler Jones. So nothing to complain about here. It's not the best, but you could definitely do worse. Chandler Jones, one of the best pass rushers in the league. I don't know what his stats look like this season. I haven't really. 4 sacks, nothing to write home about, but it's good. He's a great pass rusher. Middle linebackers, he's set. Hicks and Campbell are gonna regress, but they're still good, and they're a really good duo. Hassan Reddick has never reached what he could have been, but he can probably come back cheap, and in Madden, he's got the speed to be a great outside linebacker. Corners, you're gonna see Byron Murphy probably slide into the number 1 slot in the next couple of years. He was great in Madden 20. I don't know how he's been so far in Madden 21, but he was a guy in Madden 20 who, not terrible. But he's a guy in Madden 20 who could get superstar dev, and Pat Pete's just getting old. And I don't think he is superstar dev anymore, so he's going to regress. So when he becomes reasonable to cut, I'd say you could cut him. Drake Kirkpatrick's a guy. Like I said, Robert Alford's making too much money. He should probably go in the offseason. If Ken Crawley will come back on a cheap deal, that's great. But the secondary is great. They have a chance. They can win. Roy can win the Super Bowl this season, without a doubt. This team is good enough to win the Super Bowl, and the most impressive part is these safeties. Budda Baker, an absolute stud. Isaiah Simmons, this guy has everything you want in a safety linebacker hybrid. He's fast. He's got great change of direction for a guy who really is a linebacker. Roy has a great team to start with, and he made it better with the Ramczyk deal and going and getting Carl Lawson. This team is one of the better teams in the league, which is why the moves he made is why he has no draft picks. He could. I don't think Roy likes that. Oh, they don't like the Patrick Peterson. I'm not saying like now, but in a couple seasons when Pat Pete is a low 80s guy making $14 million, do you really want to pay him when you're going to have to pay Ramczyk after next season? If you don't, then you traded away picks for a rental. Like, I just, I'm not saying today cut Pat Pete, but eventually, what's his contract look like? I mean, he's not going to be worth $14.3 million in 3 years. And maybe I'm wrong, Pod. Maybe he will be. But so, like I said, Roy doesn't have picks. He can use this. That's fine. He can use this on depth guys along the offensive line. If anybody falls, he can take some depth guys. A tight end, he could maybe take a depth guy there, but he's gonna have to address a few of those spots in free agency. But all in all, Roy has a great team, and I mean, he is the world's oldest kicker, and one of the oldest punters. So I mean, I guess he could use a 6th and a 7th round pick on that if he really wanted to, but he doesn't need to. His team is stacked. So again, I'll hang out, and if anybody has any questions, I'll answer them. I guess I can tell you if he's starting Dan Arnold there, Pod. I don't know. Nope, starting Max Williams there, Pod. So. All right. So. All right, well, I'm going to give Roy's wheel with either Zach or... Oh, hold on. There's some stuff coming in. Zach or Will.